Hi, welcome in. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Q&A. If anybody's got any questions they want to ask me, now's the time to ask me anything about like Korp Academy, wanting to learn how to draw in the Korp Academy. And I've got a few membership plans. I know it's a little bit confusing at the moment, so if you've got any specific questions on that, now's the time to ask. Likewise, if you've got any questions about how to use Posca pens, now's a good time to ask as well. So, or any kind of drawing, anything, whatever you want. Chuck some questions in, and yeah, I'll do my best to answer whilst playing around with outlining this piece. This piece as well. So this was drawn as a tutorial for a KorpDogs project, showing people how to draw with Posca pens. But I think when I was recording this, it didn't actually record everything that I was doing with the colouring in, so I couldn't use the footage anymore. So I ended up doing it all again, outlining it all again, which you can see there. And then this one's kind of been unoutlined for such a long time. I thought I'd just get on and do it today whilst broadcasting. So yeah, hi everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining. Any questions, let me know. Anything you want to know about Posca pens, now's the time to ask. Anything you want to know about Korp Academy, now's the time to ask. Don't be shy, get into the chat, get into the comments, let me know where you're from. I always like to know where people found out about me, do you know what I mean? Whether it was just like, has it just come from the algorithm sharing things out? Has it been an advert that I've paid for? Has it you've been to one of my live workshops? I always love to know whether it was through YouTube or something else. So yeah, if you're up for it, let me know how you found out about what I do. Don't know if this shows up on camera, but it's a really, really poorly coloured in. There's like yellow patches. This is really patchy, this colouring in. I tend not to bother too much about it though. Also, let me know if how this is working. So it's the first time I broadcast vertically on YouTube and Facebook. So I don't really know how that's looking. So if it's looking okay, let me know. Too fast for you? Do you only outline with Posca markers? If I'm colouring with Posca markers, then yeah, I only outline with Posca markers. I don't tend to switch materials or switch pen types too much in a piece of artwork. I like to, if I've started with Posca, I like to do the whole thing with Posca. On saying that, I don't mind dropping in a little bit of like a grey alcohol marker to add a bit of a shadow, but because Posca leaves kind of like a matte black finish, you put that over the top of like other colours, or if you use ink over the top of Posca, it becomes really obvious that one is ink and one is paint, and I don't really like the way that looks, so I tend not to do that. Okay, it's looking alright on YouTube. I'm going to leave it. I'm not checking anything else. Look at all the comments. Do you only outline with Posca? Yeah, so hey, I found you on Pinterest from Mexico. Pinterest. I also, my Instagram automatically updates Pinterest. Thank you, Lau Garcia. Is that? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But thank you. It's always worth knowing that the stuff I'm doing on Pinterest is actually doing some good, because it's not a particularly social platform. It's good for if you want to put photos up and if you want to look at other people's artwork and stuff like that. But from a social point of view, it doesn't really hit many spots. So yeah, cheers. Good to know that's where you found me. Dan Cook saw some new artwork in a house in Portsmouth and then started to follow you. Excellent. Whose house was it, Dan? Whose house was it and what artwork was it? That's what I'm interested in. I should have quite a few bits in Portsmouth. I spend quite a lot of time down there. Too fast for you. I don't know how I found out about you, but I'm in South Africa. Welcome. Thank you for joining in all the way from South Africa. Sue Jackson. Hi, Sue. I can't believe Sue's given me like a how I found out about your work. Came to one of your doodle workshops and produced a picture I was quite proud of. What would you recommend as my next step to improving? You don't need any help, Sue. You know exactly what you're doing. Sue's a very competent, creative person in her own right. You can find her on. You can find Sue. Put your links in the chat, won't you? I think you're mainly on TikTok nowadays, aren't you? Sue does like exercise videos on TikTok. She doesn't really. She does other sorts of crafts on TikTok. Is it Shape Studio, isn't it? I don't know if it's got like underscores, dashes in, but yeah, give Sue a follow. Sue's a lovely person. I used to work with Sue quite a long time ago. That's all I want to say about that. Thanks for joining in, Sue, though. It's good to hear from you, mate. Diana saw me on YouTube from Israel. Hi, Diana. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, YouTube. I've started on YouTube not posting all of my drawing tutorials. I used to post sped up versions of my drawing tutorials on there, but I've stopped doing that recently. So now you can only really get those if you're in the Korp Academy, the drawing tutorials. Nowadays I just do like those dodgy reveal videos on there. I think I will put, every now and then I will put some like tutorials on there, and I need to get back on with a 15-minute doodle challenge. So Diana, I don't know if you've seen that. 15-minute doodle challenge is nice. I really enjoy doing that because it's nice and quick, easy. You just need a black Sharpie and a fine liner and a bit of paper, 15 minutes spare, and I'll show you how to draw something. There's 15 of them. But then I kind of stopped. I haven't got back onto it, so I will get back onto that at some stage. Basmo, what's up, bro? Hey, Basmo. Thanks for joining, mate. The one and only Egg. Hi, Egg. Joining on YouTube. Do I like video games? I don't get time to play video games at the moment. I think that's one of my big issues with, like, you know, doing this for a living, of drawing, colouring in for a living. And I don't want any sympathy or anything like this, because I'm very lucky I get to do what I enjoy for a living. But the reality is that it's a very blurry line between what I do as a job and what I do for fun. And so I'm just constantly doing this. Like, I think normally a few years ago, I'm in the UK, so it's Saturday. It's 5:20. Saturday at 5:20 a few years ago, I probably would have just gone on the PlayStation 3 or whatever it was back then, and played a few video games. But I don't do that anymore. The last video game I played that I enjoyed, this is how long ago it was Horizon Zero Dawn. Really enjoyed that game. Let's bring that back in so you can see it. So yeah, I do like video games, just don't get a chance. You can find me on the PlayStation Network, Corporate with a K. I'll probably say I've not done anything for about 3 years there. Sue Jackson says, yeah, Shape Studio, thanks much. No worries, mate. Head over, if you can, to Tickety Talk, and yeah, give Sue a follow, or just go and spam her feed. Yeah, how are we doing with this then? This is doing all right. I'm going to put pupils in now, shall I? I'm going to put pupils in now because I need them to dry, so I can put a little bit of white on them. It's the weekend. What's everybody up to? Anybody do anything interesting? My camera's in a really dodgy place at the moment. Naturally I want to draw just here, but that's like off screen. So let me. No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna try and change some of the settings. It's always dangerous when I do that. But yeah, what's everyone up to this weekend? I know was talking to somebody who said they were going to go and see the new Hellboy film. Anybody seen that yet? Was it any good? Too fast. Do I have any hobbies? This is it. Drawing is my hobby. Watching football is probably my hobby. Watching F1. And that's about it. But I don't... what other hobbies are there? I kind of like doing anything creative. Not that I get much chance to do that. But yeah, anything creative is my hobby. And that can be anything. Even though, you know, I like to draw with marker pens. This is what I enjoy doing. I also appreciate other techniques. Look at that. See that? See that line there? It's that line. Just there. All nice and smudged now. Well done, me. Hey, Ruby. Ruby's art and gaming. I mean, what's not to love? Art and gaming. What kind of art do you do, Ruby? What kind of gaming do you do? Tell us more. I don't tend to do much gaming on my computer here because it's a Mac and it's not really a gaming PC or anything like that. And so I downloaded Steam a while back because I thought I might just play a few little Steam games, and ended up just deleting it about 2 weeks ago because I never used it. It was just taking up valuable space on my hard drive. Gigi? Is that how I pronounce that? Gigi on Facebook, France. My little girl, Leah, like your drawing. And see you a lot of times. That's awesome. Thank you, mate. Hopefully she's doing a lot of drawing as well as a result. Dan's going to Brick Lane tomorrow. Awesome stuff. What are you doing in Brick Lane tomorrow, Dan? Are you taking some paste ups, doing some work there, or just having a little look around? Definitely take some stickers at the very least. Pigeon LaRue. Hey, Gemma. How are you? Tidying the studio. Well, you've been doing that for about 3 years, haven't you? Come on. It's time to start making a mess in the studio. Pigeon LaRue, again, another artist. Where are you watching from on Instagram? If you just have a little look in who's watching the video. Pigeon LaRue's artwork is fantastic. And deserves a lot more, what's the word? A lot more attention. How are the kids, Gemma? Are they all right? And I'm including Stu in that. Quality art shop in Brick Lane. Quality art shop in Brick Lane. There's an art workshop in Brick Lane. Quality art shop in Brick Lane. Is that what So Creative is? I can't tell if quality is the name or if you're describing how good it is in there. Hi, Mr. Landell. How you doing? Thank you very much for joining. So yeah, a couple of reasons why I'm on today. One is just to answer any questions you've got about Korp Academy in general. So I don't know if you know. Hopefully you know this by now. I think you're all watching the right channels. That I teach people how to draw. I do it online. This is the kind of stuff I teach people. So it's all kind of nice, easy, quick. Posca, marker pen, drawings. They all take about an hour at the most. Usually a bit quicker. But yeah, I've got a new platform, Korp Academy Community, which I launched about 2 months ago. I think there's about 70 or 80 people on there now, and it's just it's a cool place to go if you want to kind of hang out with other creative people, and if you want to get a bunch of my tutorials as well. So this weekend, you can just see in the in the little ticker going across. Just read that. This weekend there's a deal. Becky Smiley Chops, evening. Hi, Becky. How are you, mate? You all right? Vortical's in as well. Hi, Vortical. How you doing, mate? Always good to see a couple of students coming in. This is it as well. One thing to remember is the Korp Academy isn't strictly. I think people look at this and think, "Oh, it's kids' workshops," and it's not. I hate teaching kids how to draw. No, I don't hate it. That's a lie. But yeah, it's a nice mix of adults and kids that come and learn how to draw this kind of stuff. So I don't think you're too old for it. I did have somebody message me a while back saying that they've left it too long and they're too old to start drawing again, and they were younger than me, and I'm like, seriously, do me a favour. I'm not revealing how old I am, just in case you're asking. Too fast for you. Just looked at Pigeon Luru's artwork. It's so good, isn't it? Good. It's in the DNA, mate. It's so good. Yeah, go give Pigeon a follow. Give Pigeon a follow, and I don't know if they've got a shop or not, but ask them about buying some artwork. Becky says, "You're good, excellent. You've done the beginner course. Can't wait to get stuck into the other sessions." Was that the How to Doodle beginner course? Yeah, the little prompt cards in the pack. That was what kick-started the Korp Academy community. Is that little lesson? So I'm glad. Hopefully, it's worked out for you. I'm going to assume it has, because you said you can't wait to get stuck into the other sessions. I think you'll enjoy it, mate. I always like to find the shortcuts, the easy way of drawing, stuff that just makes it look good without having to put in a huge amount of effort, so that when you do put in a huge amount of effort, it looks really, really good. But yeah, I like to keep things nice and simple. That's the one. Yeah, cool. Art shop in Brick Lane is called Atlantis. Okay, mate. Just checking, the Ko-fi lessons on the new system, or are they different? Okay, good question, Vortical. So this is where I'm confusing everybody, because I've got lessons on my own website, corporate.co.uk, and then I've where you can get the premium membership, which is like all the live sessions, and that's a lot, a lot of drawing tutorials. Then I set up the Ko-fi membership, which was like only on-demand stuff. And it was about 15 or more tutorials every month I used to put on there. But it was only on demand. It was none of the live stuff, none of the activity packs, none of the other benefits and stuff like that. But then I found out about this new platform, and what I've started to do is I've created now something on the new platform, the Korp Academy community. And you can see, like I say, in the little ticker down there, korpacademy.com, it's all accessible from there. The community space, so it's like a little Facebook just for members. And it's just art, no adverts. The community space has got a membership called Plus Membership. Now, the tutorials that you get on Ko-fi and the tutorials you get on Plus are exactly the same. They are going to be the equivalent of each other. But eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop running things on Ko-fi. I'm just going to move everything over into the community, okay? At the moment on Ko-fi, you've got about 200 drawing tutorials. On the new Korp Academy, on the community and the Plus membership, there's only about 50 there at the moment. It's the most recent 50 in both. But the plan is that I will get that up to about 200 within the next month. It takes a while to put all these new tutorials in there. But yeah, longer term, Vortical, whenever you can, cancel. So this is the other thing. So it's £15 a month on Ko-fi at the moment. If you jump into the community this weekend, it's $15 per month. Okay, there's less tutorials in there at the moment, but we will get up to the 200 eventually. But it's the equivalent. So if you want to save yourself a bit of money, now's probably a good time to switch over. If not, after Monday, from Monday onwards, it's going to be $20 a month, which I still think is reasonable. That was a long way of answering a short question. I hope that helped, Vortical. Be good to get you over in the community as well. I think you'll love the tutorials. I enjoy doing the tutorials, but I absolutely love being part of the community. So seeing people do the tutorials and then have somewhere that they can go and post their artwork that isn't on Instagram, where the algorithm's going to kick it to the dirt. It isn't on Facebook, where you have to pay for anyone to see it, or you have to scroll through loads of adverts. It's in a place where actually everyone who's in there is already looking for that kind of stuff and is sharing that kind of stuff. So I absolutely love the community side of it. I didn't realise that was missing from the Korp Academy until I started it, and now I realise I was an idiot for not doing it in the first place. Jem says, we're all good, thank you, hope you are too. Yeah. Oh mate, living the dream. Been painting loads, just secretly. Thanks for the shout out. I know what it's about, mate. I'm glad you're being creative as well. That's really cool. I got to draw more because my pen is going dry. But yeah, I'm here to answer any questions. You know what? My dream is for somebody to sign up for the Korp Academy, the Plus membership, while I'm on a live. I'm just going to have a little look just to see if anybody has done it. Like I said, I think there's about 70 to 80 members in there at the moment. I think most members are kind of quiet in there and just taking in the content. There's a handful of people that are like doing stuff, commenting, posting more. Let's have a little look. Who's that? Yeah, somebody's signed up. Susan. Thank you, Susan. So we've got Susan signed up at 5:17. So that's since I've been live. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. I don't know whether you're in the chat anywhere or whether it's just a coincidence. If you are, make yourself known. It'd be lovely to know who you are. And then this morning, Elizabeth signed up this morning. And that's all. We only had 2 people today. We had about 3 or 4 people yesterday. But, that's 3 or 4 people a day. I'm really happy with that. Jellyfish, hi Jellyfish, hope you're well. I'm going to carry on drawing while I'm doing this. Vortical, cool, I can move over then. Yeah, Vortical, if you moved over now, the benefit is you'd save a little bit of money. The only thing that kind of is a bit of a backward step is there's not as many tutorials on the new plan yet, but that will happen. Within the next month, I reckon I'll have 200 tutorials in there, so you'll have the same amount of content. Also, you'll have the community space. That's the biggest benefit. That's worth the money on its own. And Vortical, you'll want the $15 a month thing. Yeah, it's only on for this weekend. $15 a month. That's the membership. There's a $7 a month one, but you don't really want that. $7 a month only gets you 1 tutorial a week. $15 a month gets you, the 5 tutorials that you're used to. Yeah, well worth the money. Becky did the other night. Thank you, Becky. Appreciate that. Just after the live. Yeah, this is why I'm live, because it feels like people kind of gets people acting and kind of doing something with it. But yeah, did you introduce yourself? Get in there. There's an introduce yourself circle, so just go in there, put a bit about yourself, so we can all get to know you a little bit better. That'll be awesome. Even if you've got nothing to say at the moment, stick a photo on your profile, introduce yourself, say hello to everybody. It's a really warm and welcoming gang. Talking of warm and welcoming gangs, Tash is in. Hi, Tash is MPO Originals on Instagram. Look, community has been the best level up yet. Yeah, it's been good, isn't it, mate? Tash is an admin now. Tash started out as a student of Korp Academy. Started on a really low level. I'm telling your story here, Tash. I hope you don't mind. But yeah, started on a really low level. The entry level kind of stuff. I think you did a few free workshops, then kind of upgraded, and eventually became a mod, and now is an admin for the community as well. So yeah, Tash has been pivotal in helping me kind of manage the Korp Academy community. Not that they need much managing. I've made that sound like it needs a lot of like moderating. It doesn't. It's a bunch of really cool people all doing really cool stuff. Moderation is just not needed. You don't have to deal with anybody kind of being an idiot in there, which I love. But yeah, thank you, Tash. Hopefully I tell you enough that I appreciate what you're doing. Signed to both Plus membership and the normal. Should I cancel the normal one? Yes, you should, mate. If you're on, so the normal one or the cheaper one, no, not the cheaper one, the affordable entry level one is called Essential. The Essential membership, if you sign up to Plus membership includes everything in the Essential membership and much more. Okay, so if you're on Plus, cancel Essential. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the dog being a knobhead. I remember now, Becky. Yeah. Because all of them are, aren't they? We got in the community at one stage. I think Becky had put something about her dog, kind of like just really getting involved every time they try and draw. And I was like, and saying that the dog's a knobhead, and I was like, yeah, I got one of those knobhead dogs as well. So it's not all about, it's not always just creative stuff. It is sometimes just complaining about animals. Thanks, Tash. And yeah, what you'll find as well, so anybody who joins the community, if you've got any questions, Tash is always on hand to help out. And likewise here on Instagram, I'm sure. One of the things I always say is that it doesn't matter how many times I say how good I think the Korp Academy is. It only really works when other people, you know, people who are students of the Korp Academy, when they say how much they're enjoying it. So, yeah, go and ask those other people around. I tend to, what I'm doing now as well is when somebody's done a drawing of one of my workshops and posted it on Instagram, is I'll give it a little share it in my stories. So whether you see something in my stories that says a big old sticker at the top saying student work, they're the people you could or should ask if you want to know a bit more. But you kind of want to know from somebody who's not financially invested in it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, my plan wasn't really to be on live for too long. I've got a telephone call with Joff. Joff is the whatchamacallit, he's the co-founder of KorpDogs. These actually are, it's probably a good time to tell you about it. These are KorpDogs. These are KorpDogs. Now, generally, KorpDogs are digitally drawn, but I decided I'd just draw a couple of like real world, IRL, in real life ones as well. But the KorpDogs are a digital art project that I'm doing. Joff is co-founder. I'm due to have a little call with him, because we're getting close to being at a point where we're going to release these dogs so that people can buy them. And people that buy them as digital art, as NFTs essentially, what they're doing is they're investing in the project and the kind of stuff that I want to do in the project. So like, you know, workshops for people, events for artists, stuff like this. This is one of the things I want to do with KorpDogs. I'm really excited about it, is getting online like this, but having like other artists involved as well, maybe doing some like live battles and things like that. That's the long-term plan. I love that idea of getting like other artists all drawing at the same time. So rather than you just coming on and just watching what I'm doing, that it actually turns into a little event, and almost like a show or a podcast or something like that. Really excited about doing some of these things, but it will be these people that invest in KorpDogs that will help that happen. So yeah, long story short, I've got a call with him in a minute. Mama of the liner. What is that? What does that mean? Sabercheck? Make of the liner. Is that what you're asking me? This is a Posca PC3M. It's a paint marker. And the reason I like using paint markers, I know I've probably explained this to a lot of you loads, but the reason I like using paint markers is because they go over the top of other colours. So I know I'm using black, and obviously black's going to go over the top. But if I wanted to do like yellow over the top of this black, it would go over the top. It might take a couple of coats, but it would do it. And what that means is that if you make a mistake, it's nice and easy to cover over any mistakes. So there's a certain sense of liberation. There's a certain sense of like encouraging you to take some risks. Well, not encouraging you, but enabling you to take risks, knowing that actually if you screw it up, it's relatively easy to fix it. So that's why I use these paint markers quite a lot. Vortical's moved over. Let me refresh my screen. There it is. Vortical, you're in, mate. That's 2 sign-ups. How long have I been live for? 30 minutes, 2 sign-ups. That's good. Thank you, guys. I still don't know whether Susan was joined because of this or what, but at least I know Vortical you have. Don't forget to cancel the Ko-fi one as well, mate. Yeah, cancel Ko-fi. You don't want to be paying twice. Oh, yeah, the other good thing about the new plan that you're on, Vortical, is the searchability of the videos. So, you know, like in Ko-fi, it was just a big, long feed. And you had to kind of scroll through and then hopefully that you found something that you wanted to draw. With the new platform, there's a page you go to, and if you struggle with it, just send me a question. But there's a page you go to, and in there it's got all the tutorials, but you can filter them by category as well. So if you say, like, okay, I want to draw a Posca fish, you can just go to Posca, and it'll show you the Posca drawing tutorials. You click on fish, it'll show you all the fish drawing tutorials. So it helps you kind of narrow things down, on which we didn't have in Ko-fi. Ko-fi was a little bit clunky like that. So yeah, huge benefit. That's one of the things that I think quite a lot of people wanted, is the ability to be able to filter. Oh, that's shocking. Look how fat that line is. Way too fat. But yeah, thanks Vortical for moving over. Sabercheck, yeah, I guess that's what you were asking. Now generally, if I'm using whatever Posca pens I'm using, I'll always use a 5M for the colour in, PC 5M for colouring in. But then I like a PC 3M for outlining. A little bit thinner, so you can kind of get into those little details a little bit better. I've got to draw this mouth. MPO, just got the introduction notification from Vortical's Art. Welcome to the community space. Vortical, have you put an intro in there already? Excellent. Yeah, you in particular, I think you'll love it because you're a social media poster as well. I think you'll love the community. It is like a little social network. So it's just a nice space to go post your artwork, knowing that actually it's going to go in front of a bunch of people that appreciate that kind of stuff. It's not going to get lost in amongst all the other millions of posts and bits that go on there. This is looking alright. Shall I put some pupils in? What we're going to do with this one, let's go in the middle here. But yeah, Vortical, you get out what you put in, you know what I mean? So thanks for putting in the introducing yourself. I guess it's the size in millimeters. 3M. But yeah, look, I suppose, look, I don't know if you can, I'm not even holding it under the camera, I'm an idiot. Yeah, a PC3M, look, it says it's between 0.9 and 1.3 millimeters. A PC5M is between 1.8 and 2.5 millimeters. You could have something there soon. I've never noticed that before. I mean, that would make sense because this is a 1M, a PC1M. A 1M is just 0.7 millimeters. So, no, sorry, Sue, you're wrong. Double lining, Becky, always double lining. So, yeah, one of my top tips. Becky's referencing one of my top technique for learning to draw and teaching people how to draw, and more importantly, how to enjoy the process of drawing. It's not necessarily about doing a good drawing; it's about enjoying drawing. And one of those top techniques is double line everything you do. And it's not about making it twice as thick, it's about making it twice as wonky. Strongly, I believe that wonky lines are much easier to draw, definitely much easier to draw, but also, to be fair, I think they look better as well. So not only will you enjoy the process of drawing, but you'll actually get some better drawings coming out of it as well. So yeah, double lining is that's my secret sauce. That's my you know, the 5, what was it, the original spices in KFC. That's the Coca-Cola formula. The only difference is I don't keep it to myself. I actually just tell everybody about it. And yeah, what it means is that your artwork will still look good because you're double lining. It's instead of going after a perfect line, you're going after a perfectly wonky line rather than a perfectly smooth line. So you're still kind of going after perfection, but you're just making it a little bit more achievable, a little bit easier to get hold of. And the reality is, in order to draw a wonky line, you have to draw quite fast to make sure you get some wonky bits in there. And that drawing fast is what ultimately helps you to draw smooth lines as well. I'd like to say I've kind of like put a bit I've studied this and put a bit of effort into it. I've not. It's just something I've always done. And what I find is that students enjoy, as soon as they start thinking, right, I'm going after wonky lines, they start enjoying their drawing more, because the pressure of doing something smooth is gone. All right, let's whack some wrinkles in. It's quite enjoyable drawing like this for everybody. Now, normally when I'm doing a tutorial, I'll have the sketchbook like that, and it won't move. It'll always be my hand that kind of just moves around, so the sketchbook stays exactly still. That's mainly so that, like, if I'm producing a reel on it, it doesn't kind of go all over the place. You know, those reels where people are drawing and you can just see the, 1 minute the pad's upside down, next minute it's the right way around. But also so people who are watching, as they're watching and looking down at their own sketchbook and then watching again, the reference points are always in the same place. So hopefully it makes it easier for people to follow. So that's why I'm kind of enjoying this, because it doesn't matter. I can just kind of muck around with this as much as possible. Not as much as possible, but as much as I want. Wonky line takes the stress out of it for me. Yeah, and the other thing about wonky lines is wonky lines help you cover up anything that you do wrong in the future. Can I show you in here? But like you do, so like just here, like you're doing a line, and you realise, oh, actually I've just gone a bit too far. Can you see that little tiny bit just poking out there? And you're like, oh, I've screwed that up, I've messed that up. The beauty of double lining it and going wonky means that we can just make that a little bit fatter, and it don't matter. It don't matter. So we can just kind of, as long as our lines are wonky all over the place, we'll get away with it. So yeah, it's a great way of kind of hiding any mistakes that we might make in the future. And again, that's quite liberating. That whole kind of like, when you get into like you almost finished a piece of artwork and you're like, I don't want to screw it up, I don't want to mess it up, and then it starts to get a little bit stressful. That's the wrong colour. That kind of having that wonky line in your back pocket, it kind of relieves that stress a little bit. Okay, this is another technique. I'm going to go through another technique. So thank you to everybody who's in on whatever platform I'm broadcasting. Where am I broadcasting? YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. So yeah, thank you. Wherever you're watching from, put it in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from and how you found out about me. That's the one thing I'm really keen to know, is how people found out about me. But yeah, so the next thing I'm going to go through is cutting in. One of my favourite techniques for Posca pens is the ability to cut in, the ability to kind of go over a colour. So for example, like this is light blue. I put these black lines all over it, other colours all over it. Now I can take that light blue again and I can make some of those black lines disappear. So let's just go on these ones. Look, see, they've got kind of fat ends. I can just take a little slice out, and each one of those fat ends becomes this real sharp, thin end. And even if you make a mistake and you put something in, you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, you can just take the whole thing out. Like this nose, if I wanted to, I could just colour over that with this blue, make that nose disappear, and then whack another nose in. And again, that's another really liberating thing about drawing. That's why I enjoy drawing with Posca pens, is because you can do that kind of stuff. There's no pressure to get it right first time, I guess. They're all cut out nicely. And also, I don't know how many of you enjoy this element of it, but I'm a little bit of a, not a perfectionist by any means, but I am a front-end perfectionist. And that means I kind of like tidying up. I like things to be just right before I actually start doing any work. So it's not about the artwork being perfect. I like the environment to be not perfect, but right for me. And one of those aspects is just like keeping things tidy and sorting, sorting things out. I used to have a massive studio, and a friend of mine used to joke that, if I was about to do some artwork, he'd give me a phone call and he'd say, "What are you doing? Are you sweeping up your studio instead of doing your artwork?" And most often I was actually tidying up the studio rather than actually doing any artwork. So I do. I'm very self-aware from that point of view. And this element of what we're doing now is kind of linked to that, like just getting things tidy. So you're just kind of going over all of these lines and just tidying them up a little bit. I find it really quite rewarding. Feels like I'm doing a nice job. Just kind of flicking around without it being too much effort, just tidying it up, mucking around with those little details that other people might not notice. So like just there, I don't know if you can see this on camera. I know it's not a particularly big feed, but or a zoom in or anything like that. But you see there's a fat end there, fat end there. What I then do is with this sky, I can just sky blue, just go and chop those ends off so they become really sharp in there. It just adds another little detail that looks really nice. Here's another thing you can do. Look, just go in and put in a bunch of marks like that. Yeah, it looks a bit rubbish at the moment, but what you can do is you can take that light blue, you can go over those and make those disappear, make them into some really, not disappear, but make them into some really interesting shapes. I'll show you that in a second. Yeah, that's good. Let's move over to this one. Oh no, I'm gonna cut out these lines, aren't I? Who was that? Eldon. Thanks for joining, Eldon. How are you, man? Let me know where you're from. And how you found out about what I'm doing. Was it just the algorithm working? Was it through another platform? I guess what I'm getting at is I spend a bit of money advertising Korp Academy on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm like, do I need to spend that money advertising? I always kind of think that it's, it is a business and it is a platform, and I shouldn't expect to get anything for free on that. And you know what they say, if you're not paying, you're not the customer, or something like that. And so I feel like I do need to pay for a certain amount of advertising on there, because I do use it quite a lot to grow Korp Academy. But yeah, I'm keen to know whether people found out, how people found out, so I can focus my effort in that way. Right, let's get on with some yellow. Yellow's a tricky old colour to use. See what I mean? Look, the coverage on yellow is just shocking. My top tip, I can't help it, I'm always like trying to share top tips, but with these paint markers, the lighter you press, the better coverage you'll get. So you don't have to press hard. I mean, Mia Canta to Trabajo. Thank you. I don't speak. Is that Spanish? I don't know if that's Spanish or not. But it sounds nice, whatever you've written. Thank you. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Nice. So just press gently. You're more likely to get a thick coat. You want to constantly wet nib. I don't know if you can see, I've got like a little piece of scrap cardboard, and I just kind of constantly priming my pen on there until it's like paint is almost pouring out. And then you can just go over these nice and gently to get these tapered ends. But yeah, don't ever, if you're using Posca pens, don't press hard, is what I'm saying. Just take that out there. And sometimes you need to give it a couple of coats. You're not going to get it right first time. If you don't get it right first time, don't try and keep going over and over and over. You just want to give it one coat, let it dry, give it another coat. You've got to think more like a painter and decorator rather than an artist, in my opinion. Where are we? Let's cut out some of these bits. Lovely. And so another thing I do quite a lot when I'm working with Posca is I work on one area, and then while that's drying, I go and take a break and I'll go and work on somewhere else. Hi Emma, thank you for joining. So yeah, I'm always kind of like backwards and forwards, and the main reason for that is like, you know, I waited for all these little stripes, these little horrible bits I put in here, wait for them to dry, and then go and work on here for a little bit, and then while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'll go and fix these bits over here. Let me just turn that upside down. Right, so you see all those little lines I put in. What I'm going to do now is take this light blue and just kind of taper out the ends, look, and it makes those lines really thin, much more interesting, and having a little bit more finesse to them. It's looking a bit wet at the moment, so you'll see that it's a little bit, it's not going to look great because it's wet. Let's put a few more in there. So that's how you do it, like just like a floater of a line. But the other thing you can do is, like in here, like I can just bring that line to there, maybe bring that one there, and then with these lines, that bit there, then I can taper those out in a little while as well. This character needs some eyebrows. I forgot about this. Just going to quickly put some eyebrows in. And again, it's about, just stick the line in. If it doesn't work out, let it dry, paint over it. If it does work, then you're all good. This is looking okay though. What else can we do in there? Let's go and put in some bits over this side. Little V-shapes, look. Little V-shapes are great for making things look furry. And again, we'll come back and we'll taper those out. Let's put a little bottom lip in. It's a rubbish line. I know it's a rubbish line. It's meant to be rubbish at this stage. It will look better later. There we go. So again, like, you know, we'll wait for that to dry. We're going to move over to the other side. What should we do over this side? Let's flick a few little lines out around that mouth. You could, you know, technically, I'm using a 3M there. There's no reason why you can't go down a pen size and use a 1M. Not that one, because that one's running out. Yeah, so you could go in and do these lines with a 1M. Nice and thin, get it right first time. But rather than buying every single size going, I like the idea of like just, you know, getting the basic sizes and being able to do thin lines with fat pens. And that's what you can do by cutting in. You can do thin lines with fat pens. Just going to put a little line down here as well. Always good to throw in a little chin. These bits up here in the ear, that is violet and lavender, so let's go and do some stuff in the ears. Don't think I've used this colour for a while, so it might not be a good colour match. Yeah, that's not too bad. Lovely. Okay, we'll wait for that to dry. We'll move over the other side. I love how you do the shadows and the details. Thank you, mate. Yeah, that is. So when I'm teaching somebody how to draw, there's always 4 stages for any drawing that I do. The first 2 stages are all about making a mess. The second 2 stages are all about tidying up. Okay, and yeah, so this bit, what I'm doing now, is all about tidying up. So it's always about kind of making the artwork look better. Stage one is like outline guidelining, so just kind of like what you'd normally do with a pencil, I do with a pen. Just go and put some basic shapes on, scribble something out until it's roughly right. Stage two is about colouring in, just throw the colour on, don't think about it too much. Big chunks of shadow, big chunks of highlights, so that I'll just do that bit in blue, in the sky blue, this bit in the light blue. Yeah, again, not thinking about it too much, just chucking it all on. And then third stage, this is where you start tidying up. So this is where you want to start putting in the outlining. All these black lines makes a huge difference. If you watch at the start of this feed what this artwork looked like before I put any outlines on, I don't think I've got any, to what it looks like after you've put all the outlines on. Just such a huge difference. And then the final stage is that adding a bit of finesse, having a bit of fun, adding your own, stamping your own character on it, like what I'm doing here with all these just like getting in and cutting out and things like that. That's what makes a difference. So that's what makes a difference between that, which, you know, is looking pretty finished, through to that, which is looking even more finished. We've got all the stuff going on in the background, thin little lines, loads of details in the ears. I added a bit of snot coming out the nose. Look at the reflections on everything as well. Look, I even put a tongue on there, which we haven't got in this one. So, and it's one of those things where it's up to you. You know, when you get to a finished piece of artwork and you're like, I don't know if it's finished or not. This is the good thing about Posca pens, and the good thing about this like last stage is that you can just tinker with it until you feel like it is just finished. Okay, so let's get on with this light blue. Enough talking, let's draw. Again, just chopping out everything. I like these bits. Remember these little bits that I stuck out just here? Let's go and take those out. You see, you're taking out quite a lot. Just makes all the difference. So whenever you're putting these original lines in, you want to put them in quite fat, because you know they're going to be a lot smaller by the time you finish with them. Same with this line. Look at that, a big fat chunky horrible looking line down the bottom there, but what we do is we just taper that out one side, taper it out on the other side. I've got a much, when that dries you'll be able to see that better. I ain't got any autofocus, so don't know why I'm holding it up to screen. But yeah, when that dries, that'll be much a nicer looking shape, much more obvious as being a shadow with some tapered ends to the end of the line. Let's carry on with this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add in a few more shadows and things. So I'd expect to see a shadow under here and over here as well. See, like just a subtle little shadow there, but it works a treat. I did some snot coming out of the other one, didn't I? So should we do some snot? Snot or blood? There's a question for you. Snot or blood? Let's keep it nice. Let's go with a bit of snot. So what I would do then, is there's my nose. I want to put a bit of snot coming out of the nose. Let's have a bit coming from about here. See if we can have it hitting that, and then how's that look? Gross, yeah. So what I'm doing there, I'm using two colours for the snot. Two colours for the snot. I'm using green and light green. So I'll put the green bit on, which is going to be the darker colour, which is why I've not coloured in all the gaps in there, because I know I'm going to put the lighter colour over the top. That lighter colour is what's going to make it a little bit more 3D. So giving that like you know, the highlights and the shadows bit that we were just talking about. Are those markers alcohol based? No, they're acrylic. So technically, I think that makes them water based. Posca pens. I do use alcohol markers. I do 5 lessons a week on how to use marker pens. 2 lessons are like black pens, Sharpies, even Poscas, mainly Faber-Castell pit pens like fine liners. 2 lessons of Posca. 1 lesson a week is on how to use alcohol markers. Here is, I'll really quickly flick through this so you can get an idea of the alcohol marker artwork that I do. It's great that the first one is a Korp dog, but with the alcohol markers, they blend in with each other really nicely. So I just show people loads of like techniques for how to blend alcohol markers together. Sometimes I like to keep things fairly realistic, you know, a little bit like that, and sometimes I just like to go a bit weird with it, show people how to blend in. Oh, it makes me sick, that one. That's more like me. That's a 1 hour workshop. I taught a bunch of people how to draw this in 1 hour. Still surprises me. But there you go, look, that's their alcohol markers, so a slightly different technique. The only thing with alcohol markers is if you make a mistake, you kind of got to work around it and figure out how you can fix it. With Posca markers, if you make a mistake, you can always just go and cover it up, and it's no biggie. There's loads in here, look. There's tons. Getting bored yet? And each of these is a tutorial in Korp Academy. I don't know if I've mentioned that. I teach people to draw in the Korp Academy. If you go to KorpAacademy.com, just there. If you go to KorpAacademy.com, there's methods for joining the community. It starts at $7 a month, where you'll get 1 tutorial per week, but also access to the community. You'll get, for $7, you'll get 1 tutorial a week, but you'll also get instant access to about 20 other tutorials. Some of these will be in there. There you go. That's all I've done. But yeah, the main reason I'm here is because the Plus membership, Essential membership, is $7 a month. Plus membership is $15 a month. That deal is ending this weekend, so from Monday it'll be $20 a month, which is the normal price. The $15 is just an introductory price to kickstart things. And we've had 2 people sign up since I've been online for about the last 40 minutes. Thank you very much for those 2 that have signed up. If anybody else wants to sign up, just head over to KorpAacademy.com and go to the community page, and you'll see some details for how to sign up there. If you don't like it, if you don't enjoy it, cancel. It's easy to cancel. It's about, I think, once you've logged in, it's about three clicks to cancel. So I've made it very transparent on how to cancel your membership. I'm not into, like, you know, keeping people in just by confusing them. I can make it very easy. I can even cancel it for you if it's not your thing. I'm really confident it will be your thing though. So yeah, if you don't like it, you've only lost $7. It's nothing, is it? I said it's nothing, but obviously I know $7 is a lot for some people, but in the grand scheme of things, $7 for what this gives you, which is like extra skills, the mental health benefits of like being able to draw, that kind of stuff. I think $7 a month is well worth it. Let's talk in more drawing. Let's go and do this. We're going to put in this little bit of snot. So kind of like shadows down on this side, your main stringy bit of snot up there. You see already that kind of looks a little bit 3D. I wish I could zoom in on that a little bit more. Just trying to figure out how I can zoom in. There we go, look. We can zoom in a little bit. So look, you see that the way I've just kind of put the highlight over one side, the shadow over the other side. It's a nice easy trick, but it works a treat. I'm not too fussed about how it looks up here. I know it looks a bit messy up there, but just wait, we'll tidy that up later. There you go, another bit, just a little tiny bit of snot. And I will also kind of put a little outline around that as well, just to make it pop out, make it kind of fit with all the other pieces that I've done. That looks good. Where should we go next? Let's go back. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, let's go back up. No, let's go do something in these ears. Look, ears. This is a coral pink and red that I've got in here. So Just test out my pen. So I've got to shake it. If you're joining in and you're watching, do me a favour, kind of click on the share buttons and stuff like that. It really helps. Even if you're not hanging around, just tap a share. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tapping on like and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff really helps the algorithm. Helps me get noticed. Helps share the word. I will forever appreciate it if you do that. Let's just see how that works. Yeah, so at the bottom there's a little paper airplane. Just tap on that. Tap on share. And yeah, share it around. Even at the very least, if you just kind of tap on the heart, let people know that you're liking it. That'd be awesome. Right, let's get in the ear look. Really not overly happy with how that looks. Never mind. That looks better. What we're going to do on the other side. I think on the other side, what did I do on the other picture? Extra little wrinkles. Let's go and put some extra little wrinkles in. I'm going to use the thin black pen just because it's quicker. I like teaching people like techniques for how to draw skinny lines, sharp lines, thin bits with fat pens. But sometimes you just want to get it, for the sake of speed, you want to get it done nice and quick. So let's go and put in like these little tiny lines, and you see how like I'm doing this like little dotting and dashing technique. If you don't want to put a crease in, if you don't want to put a line in, if you want to put like a little crease in the artwork and you're only using a black pen, then just dot and dash it like this. See, we've got some dots and dashes. It just gives the indication of a little bit of a crease without having to put one fat black line in there. Lovely. Very conscious that I'm just moving this sketchbook around all over the place, not really knowing what's underneath. There you go, that's what's underneath. Just rubbing that one all against the desk and making it a bit rough around the edges. Never mind. Let's go back onto this side then. So again, you can see I'm just like backwards and forwards on this. Here we go. Sky blue, that's the wrong colour. Let's use light blue. And that, yeah, this is the other good thing about, you make a little mistake like that with Posca pens and you put the wrong colour on. It don't matter. It's fairly easy to fix it. You do that with alcohol pens, you put the wrong colour on. You kind of like, you got to lump it. You got to figure out how you're going to fix it. But with Posca, the main thing is wait for it to dry. Fix it that way. Should we outline that snot? I'm at a point really where I'm just wrapping up now, just kind of thinking about how I'm going to finish this piece off. So let's go and outline this snotty bit. Yeah, start down here. I had to go quiet there because if I'm doing like an outline that's quite important, so that's quite an important outline and quite a tricky one to get just right, I tend to stop breathing in order to help me draw a smooth line, which is okay unless you're drawing a long line and then it becomes a bit of a challenge. There we go, that's looking all right. See how that pops out? It still doesn't look like it's particularly coming out the nose very well. So what I'm going to do is just try and put in the nostril bits. Let's go for a little curve like that. Little curve like that. How's that look? That looks a bit more, I was about to say realistic. I know it's a cartoon dog with loads of snot coming out, so it's not realistic, but yeah, that looks better. I might put a tongue on that another day. I'm not going to do that today. If you're interested in these sessions, you want to join in with the, not join in, but if you want to watch the live sessions a bit more, don't forget to hit the tap. Don't forget to tap the notifications bell. So that you get notified that I'm jumping online. Don't those markers smudge the time on the back? Yeah, they do a little bit of that. So, but that's my own fault because I'm not being careful. I'm just kind of rubbing it around, so it does smudge a little bit, and there is little marks here. But you know, if you've got a clean desk, you should be okay. Maybe put a bit of paper over it. Definitely doesn't go through though. Doesn't go through the paper. Look. So look, that's, there it is on that side. There it is on that side. You can't see any of those dogs on the other side. Let me turn it around this way, so you can see that character. Nothing in there, yeah. Reason for that is that this is an Art Gecko. Where is it? Let me show you the front page. An Art Gecko sketchbook. This isn't a branded one though. I do have a branded one. Look at that. It's an Art Gecko sketchbook. It's a freestyle sketchbook. It's been made for Posca pens. I think it's only available in the UK. You probably can get it abroad, but it's going to cost you a fortune to get it delivered. And I know they're working on like distribution elsewhere. But yeah, the Art Gecko. There's the emblem. That's the name of the company. Art Gecko. They do a freestyle sketchbook, and I think if you ask them nicely, they might still have some of the branded versions with this really nice foil doodle with Korp branding. But the paper is nice and thick. It's perfect for Posca pens. They've made it specifically for Posca pens, so it works really well. Okay, let's finish this off, shall we? We're going to put in some white reflections in a few different places, and then I'm going to wrap up. So just one last reminder, if you want to join the Korp Academy, if you've got any questions about it, now's the time to ask. If you're interested in joining, just keep an eye on this ticker down below. The Plus plan is at $15 a month at the moment. It'll go up to $20 a month, which is the normal price on Monday. So Monday, that's UK Monday. So that's Monday in Great Britain, not Monday wherever you are. So yeah, this weekend is your last chance to sign up at that level and get access. That's the main reason I'm here today. Let's go and put in some little white reflections. Finish this off. That's looking nice. Let's go and put in a white reflection on there. A couple of little dots. See how that just, I love putting in white reflections because those little tiny pieces like that just make that character really come alive. I think it makes the eyes come alive, which I absolutely love. Zhong Kun. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna let's leave it. I've done enough to this. Now I've got to take a phone call about some digital KorpDogs. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that little session. Just a little kind of update on, well, just me doing some outlines really. I've kind of enjoyed that. I do get online as often as I can for these kind of broadcasts. So yeah, feel free to hit the notifications bell if you want to join in a little bit more. No, that's too far. I just want to show you, I'm going to flick through the sketchbook, okay? I'm only going to see one side of it, but it's just going to show you all the different things that I've got in this sketchbook. There's some like test pages. The good thing about this sketchbook and these pens is that like you can muck around with stuff like that, and then you can just draw something over the top of it, so nobody will ever see all of this rubbish. So nothing's ever wasted, which is just as well, because that is rubbish. Let's have a proper look. So yeah, here's some of all of these are tutorials in the Korp Academy. So if you want to learn how to draw this kind of stuff, you want the nice, simple, easy way of drawing cool things like that, all of them within less than an hour, then yeah, just sign up. Look at that. That's one of my favorites and so easy. I think this was like a 30-40 minute tutorial, and it's step by step as well. So you know, I draw a line, you draw a line. That's how I do my workshops. They're all step by step, all really at a nice chilled out slow pace, and then just having something like that finished within an hour. I don't think that one was a workshop. I think I did that one just for fun. Or did I? Not sure. But there you go. Let's just quickly flick through. And I like drawing weird stuff as well. So that's the other thing you'll get from Korp Academy is you'll never get. I'm never going to do a landscape or a bowl of fruit or something like that. I'm going to draw a frog eating a bug, or a pizza with some dodgy teeth, or a monster or monsters. That's Jim Bradshaw style. So one of my favourite artists is called Jim Bradshaw. And I like to teach people how to draw like other artists as well. And he's just a fantastic artist, and that's been drawn in his kind of style as well. Yeah, I thought it was a workshop, mate. I did think it was vertical. But it just looked. Now I look at it, I'm like, surely I've not done that in 1 hour. But yeah, I think we did, didn't we? May have been a shade over an hour. The rainbow one would look great on a t-shirt. Yeah, you know the problem is with t-shirts is they're just expensive to print, especially if you've got loads of colours. So the rainbows do look great, but as soon as you're using different colours for the type of t-shirt I like printed, like the screen printing style, it just starts costing too much money. But yeah, my t-shirt game is very weak at the moment. I will sort that out. Thank you. Who's this? I think this was John Kelly Green style. So this was a monster by John Kelly Green. A zombie that I picked up on Pinterest. Again, look at that. Just a 1 hour workshop. I'll show you step by step how to draw that. I think most people, when you look at that, think, I'm not sure where to start. What I love doing is I love showing people all the shortcuts on how to get something looking like that and how easy it can be. There you go, a little skull split in half. We did this in Doodle on Discord, which is another one of my live sessions that I do. Anybody recognise that? A bit of Rick and Morty, I'm a huge fan. A bit of Five. Was this Five Nights at Freddy's? Yeah, I think that's one of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's, because we did the rabbit as well. And that's it. That's the end of that sketchbook. That's this finished sketchbook. I don't know what to do with this sketchbook. I think what I'll do is I'll probably just give it away at some stage, run a competition, see if anybody wants it. Okay. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed that little live session. I'll see if I can go again live tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the last day of signing up. But yeah, head over to KorpAacademy.com. If you've got any questions, just message me or comment on one of my posts. I'll answer as many questions as I can about Korp Academy. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.